you were to ask me the question, who is the greatest Tamil cinema director of all time, I would say, without a doubt, it is Mani Ratnam. Now, I know there's been some great and legendary directors that have come throughout the vast history of Tamil cinema, whether that includes the present-day crop or directors of the past, which includes legends like Mahindran, S. Balachandar, K. Balachandar, Balu Mahendra, Bharati Raja, and the list goes on and on. I feel like Mani Ratnam is able to encompass all of their positives and deliver some of the most beautiful, poetic, philosophical, metaphorical, and impactful films that Tamil cinema has ever seen and ever witnessed. You know, a lot of directors have come throughout the history of Tamil cinema, but not a lot of them have the lasting impact that Mani Ratnam has had since he started in the 80s till now. One of the main reasons why I consider Mani Ratnam as the greatest Tamil cinema director of all time is his ability to introduce talent and cultivate great talent out of those individuals when he introduces them into the industry, whether that's the Tamil industry, the Indian industry, or just world cinema in general. I already made a video about this last year, so if you wanted to see that video, that's the title above, and you can watch it on YouTube and TikTok. Another reason why I consider Mani Ratnam as the greatest Tamil cinema director of all time is that he is through and through a cinematographer's director. Film is a visual medium, and when you look at a Mani Ratnam film, whether it's from the 80s, 90s, 2000s, 2010s, or even now, all of his movies are pristine, clean, crisp, and just incredible to look at. They're very beautiful, they're very poetic, they're very, the adjectives can go on and on. But he gives them so much carte blanche, and he gives them so much free reign and leeway. And they explore the visual palette that Mani Ratnam's trying to put on screen in such a beautiful manner that when you look at the cinematographers' respective filmographies, some of their best work, and usually all their awards, are achieved through collaboration with Mani Ratnam. We obviously know his celebrated collaborations with people like P.C. Sriram, Rajiv Menon, Santosh Sivan, Ravi K. Chandran, and also Ravi Verman. And he's worked with a couple other cinematographers as well. But the reason why they're at the top of their game is because Mani Ratnam helped them get to the top of their game, giving them the freedom and giving them that kind of, ability to explore their capabilities as a cinematographer. And Mani Ratnam has said in interviews that he uses a cinematographer almost like a co-collaborator from the inception of a story till the point where it releases. He has the cinematographer with him throughout the whole process, just to make sure that the visuals and the look of the film is very cool to look at and just be, fitting into the story and so on and so forth. But yeah, when you look at a Mani Ratnam film, you know it's a Mani Ratnam film because no other director, in my personal opinion, in Tamil cinema, whether it's today or the past, has been able to cultivate incredible imagery like he has, along with his cinematographers. And these stills do no justice towards the craftsmanship and the incredible work that these cinematographers have had alongside Mani Ratnam. And I just highly suggest you to watch a Mani Ratnam film, even if you don't think the story is great. Just look at the visual poetry in his movies. For example, a film like Ale Paide could have easily gone a different way had it not been the incredible work that P.C. Sriram and Mani Ratnam did in terms of showcasing that film. Because again, it's a simple love story, but a song like Pache Nirame is such a beautiful way to showcase love throughout its different colors. A film like Ravanan shows the earthy tones that the world provides you in that kind of situation. Ponniyin Selvan is such a classically looking film, but is done in such a different way. Dil Se is one of the most beautiful films I've ever seen in general. And the cinematography by Santosh Sivan in that film is just incredible. And again, the list goes on and on. His films are just incredible and beautiful to look at. And it's all thanks to his collaborations with the cinematographers, bringing out the best within them. And another reason why Mani Ratnam is the greatest Tamil cinema director of all time is that his characters and his performers deliver some of the most complex, in-depth, and some of the most fascinating people you will ever see in Tamil cinema history. Now, there's a lot of characters that he's done over the years. These are just some of them that I and a lot of other people love. Obviously, the list goes on, and this doesn't even encompass all of the great characters that he's helped deliver on screen. But there's something different about a Mani Ratnam protagonist or antagonist or even a side character in his films because they just act and feel different. in a lot of interviews, he said, and a lot of his performers have said, that he never acts in front of them. He always tells them to think internally in terms of what they would do and what they would think in their respective situation or the narrative in general. And that's why when you watch a Maniratnam character on screen, they just seem a little bit more realistic, or a little bit more realistic in that heightened situation. And again, some of these performers have delivered their career best performances through Maniratnam film. And that's no surprise because, again, there's something way different when they're acting in his films in comparison to other people's movies. And they just, again, they feel like real people thrown into those specific situations, which I really, really love. And the way that they dress, the way that they act, the way that they think, their minds are really different. And again, you can look at a person's face, even in these stills, you can look at their faces and they're saying 1,000 words, and you can almost really tune into what they're thinking and what they're kind of like, churning about in their brain just by looking at the still. And that's a beautiful thing that a lot of directors seem to not be able to comprehend. And Maniratnam, as a director, has been able to comprehend this since his start of his career till now. Another reason why Maniratnam is the greatest Tamil cinema director of all time is that he is also the director of what many people argue as probably the greatest achievement in Tamil cinema history, Nigam. A lot of people consider this movie as one of the greatest, if not the greatest achievement that Tamil cinema has ever done. And that's not me saying this, not even his fans saying this. A lot of lists worldwide consider this as one of the greatest achievements in cinema history in general. Yes, it is very influenced by the Godfather films and other gang films as well. But in terms of Tamil cinema, a lot of films could, pay homage and pay credit and respect to this movie, because without this film, those films don't even exist. And this is the blueprint and the trailblazing film for a lot of gang films since Nigam in terms of Tamil and Indian cinema in general. And again, this film is so pristine and so incredible that even till now, it is an incredible film to watch till this day. And if you're the greatest director in the industry, you probably have to be the greatest, producer of talent and producer of work. And, possibly the greatest work that Tamil cinema has ever seen is the work of Maniratnam. Another reason why Maniratnam is the greatest Tamil cinema director of all time is that he has great versatility in his filmography. If you look at his filmography, he's done many different genres, and he is a master of all those genres, including the romance genre. A lot of people would love and would wish they were able to make a film like a Maunaragam or Ale Payade or Okay Kanmani, or in my personal opinion, one of the most underrated films in his whole entire filmography in the last decade or so, Kachavilede. Even his Telugu film, Geetanjali, which is talking about life with death, is an incredible film. Maunaragam is about divorce. Ale Payade is about runaway lovers and the trials and tribulations that they find when they run away from home. Okay Kanmani is about a live-in relationship, which a lot of directors would never touch upon in Tamil cinema. Kachavilede is about a toxic relationship and the dangers of being in one. Again, even if those films don't work for you, I feel like as a director, he's so incredibly talented in terms of trying something new within that one genre. And again, those romance films are way different from each other, but they still have a lasting impact on you, whether you think they're incredible films or just okay films. And Maniratnam has an incredible ability to adapt historical fiction and historical epics in a grand and modernized scale. Films like Talabadi, which is pretty much about Karnan's story, Ravanan, which is pretty much Ramayanam, Kadal, which is pretty much a story within the Bible, and also Ponniyin Selvan, Paham, Unda, and Rende, which is obviously a famous adaptation of those famous novels. These films are incredible to look at. Even though I'm not a huge fan of Kadal, I still felt like that was a brave attempt at doing something different. And these films are a great way of telling those old stories in a new manner. And also, he's shown conflict in an incredible manner as well. Roja, Bombay, Dilse, and also Kannathil Muthamittal are very impactful films and interesting films that touch upon real-life subjects, but in a manner that only Maniratnam can do so. And his viewpoints in politics and real-life situations in films like Iruvar, Aayithaezhuthu, and also Guru are just excellent. And also, his treatment in gangster films speaks for itself. The OG pan-India director and the GOAT of Tamil cinema directors.